BC cable. One power bank cost 30 quid before VAT. Before VAT at 23% has been added. Find the cost of power after it's been added. Are we expecting it to be more expensive, are we? Okay, so you have two ways of doing it. You can multiply 30 by 23% and add it on. Or you can multiply 30 by 123% and it will add it on automatically. Well, you should got 36.9 because it would add on. So I'll show you now. So we'll do it both ways, right? So I'll do 30 multiplied by 123%. Then we press catalog, probability, percent sign. And that is actually, if I press the change button, that is my €36.90. That's one step. If you did it the other way, how many people got €6.90? Now you have to add that on to the original 30. So 30 plus €6.90, 36.90 as well. So no matter what, you're getting 36.90. We all good with that? Next one. Sean is going to buy a different power bank that costs 26 quid and a USB that costs 9 quid. Sean sees a special offer to buy the power bank and USB cable together for €28. How much did he save? Okay, let me see. How much was he going to pay? He was going to pay 35, wasn't he? Agreed? How much is he going to pay now? So what's 28? 35 take away 28. So would you agree he saved €7 out of a possible, and then you multiply that by 100? 20%? Are you happy with 20% discount there? Because he got it for 20% cheaper than what he was going to pay. Another way of doing that, something we discussed as well the other day. If you did 28 divided by 35, what would you have gotten? 28 divided by 35. You were going to pay 35, but now you're only paying 28. You'd get 80%, which means you paid 80% of what you were going to pay. So how much did you save? You saved 20 because 80 is 20% below 100. So that's another way of doing the same thing. Okay. We're all agreed Liam gets 4 parts, John gets 3 parts, and Martha gets 5. Now, usually you'd add them all up together, but just read the question really carefully before we do it. I think they're only talking about Liam and Joan. So add Liam and Joan together. How many parts did they get between them? So I think what we have is 7 parts is 154. And how much are they looking for? How much Martha paid. How many parts does Martha have? So we need to convert 7 parts into 5 parts for Martha. Now, how do we turn 7 parts into 1 part? You divide by 7. That's perfect. Yeah, so divide by 7 then. Get your 154 and divide by 7 because we want to find out how much 1 part is. 22, yeah? And then I'm going to multiply that by 5 to find out how much 5 parts is. 110 because you divide it by 7 and then you multiply it by 5. So euro is big, pound is small. What did it give you the price in the ticket in? Euro or pound? To give it to you in pound. This means this is small, which means our answer needs to be, no, answer has to be bigger. Because the number for euro is always bigger than the number for pound, according to this question. See the way 0.85 is smaller than 1. 1 euro, 0.85 pound. Euro is the big number, pound is the small number. You have 2 choices. What are your 2 choices? You use the exchange rate. So what are your 2 choices? You either divide by 0.85 or you multiply by 0.85. But what are you expecting? You need the answer to be bigger or smaller? Bigger. Because euro is always bigger. So which option did you end up taking? You divided, did you? €70 on the money. So when you divide by 0.85, you get 70. Do you remember doing that in class? We agreed €70, don't we? But here's the deal. €70. Why don't we multiply that by 8 to figure out how much 8 tickets will cost? So job is 70 multiplied by 8 because we're going to buy 8 tickets. 560 quid, yeah? But this dude has a 20% discount. So what are we going to do? Huh? And take it away? So you can times it by 20% and take it away. Anybody know the lazy way of doing it? Multiply by. If you lose 20%, how much percent do you have left? You can multiply it by 80% if you want. But I'm getting the feeling that you guys would prefer in a test to multiply by 20% and take it away. So if you do 560 multiply by 80%, catalog probability, you get 448. Now, if you guys didn't want to do it that way and you wanted to do the takeaway method, which most of you will, which is a-okay, instead of multiplying by 80%, you'd multiply by 20, 112, and you do 560 minus 100 and once again you still get 448. So these three people, Joe, Emily, or Emil, can't pronounce it. Way Earl pay workers. Each of them has a tax credit of 3,300. Their tax bands are shown below. Okay. Now the first 35,300, yeah, it gets charged at what percent? 20. So how much does Joe make? Read part A. How much does Joe make? So he's only going to get taxed at. Will he get taxed at 40% at all? Why? He doesn't make over 35 grand 300, so he can't get taxed at 40%. So you're going to multiply him by 20% and figure out how much tax we want from him. So multiply by 20%. 5,500. Confirm that for me, will you guys? That's how much money they want from us, but we're not going to give them all that money. For what reason? We're not going to give them all 5,500. Yeah, 3,300. We're not going to give them that much. So we're actually going to pay them how much? How much are we actually going to pay them? 2,200. And this is actually called income tax, yeah? That's the tax the government are actually going to take off us. What does the question actually want from us, though? Read the last word of the question. So it wants to know how much money we take home to the family, so to speak. 27,500 minus 200. Yeah. Do any of you do business? Right, go on. What are you getting? 25,300. Yeah. Good. Person number 2. They make more than 35,300, don't they? So their 43,450 is going to be split up into two parts. It's going to be split up into the first 35,300 that gets taxed at. And what about the other part? So get this number and take away the 35,300. Because we've got to figure out what gets charged at the higher bracket. So what do you reckon? 8,100 and multiply by, what's the upper percentage? 40, yeah. So go on. You're gonna multiply them out and add them together. And then you can get your total, your gross tax then, yeah? For which one? 3,260, yeah? For the other one. And then you can add them both together because that's the tax the government wants from you. So add them both together and tell me how much tax I think I'm going to pay here. Okay. Well, I put that in the wrong place. Sorry, my bad. That's how much tax the government thinks it's getting from us. Is it going to get all that from us? We're not going to pay you the tax credit. Yeah, yeah. Okay, go on. Take them away from each other. One of them take away the other one.
You were doing that last the question, wasn't it? This is the tax credit. We got
What do we think?
7020.
7020. Okay. And that's your income tax, yeah? And then it really wants me to figure out how much I'm taking home. So how do I finish the question off?
36,440.
Yeah, so it's going to be your gross income. Take away your income tax and then throw it in. What? 25. You ready, guys? Okay. So the deal is, this person earns over 35,300. You got it? So, because we're getting charged any money I make, so right, any money I make over 35,300. Imagine, for argument's sake, I make 35,500. Imagine I make that much extra money. Agreed? Imagine I make 200 extra quid, yeah? Do you know what the government's doing? It's taking 40% of it away. Do you get what I'm saying? Which means I'm actually maintaining 60% of it. Does that make sense? So if I multiply that by 60%, I actually get to keep 120 euro. Does that make sense? So what happens is she wants to increase her net income by 80 quid each month. Well, because the government, I have 100%, alright, but the government takes 40% of it off. Would you agree with that? And what's left is, and what they're saying is 60% is 80 euro. Agreed? What we need to figure out is, what was 100% of that? So how'd you get to 1%? How'd you go from 60 down to 1? No, 60. You want 60 to turn into 1. You want it to be 60 times smaller. Does that mean you multiply or divide? Divide it by 60. Divide 80 by 60 to find out what 1% is. And then multiply your answer by 100 to turn it back into 100%. So give that a go. Divide 80 by 60. And then multiply that by 100. What? 3 with a dot above it, which is actually 3, 3. Divide 80 by 60 and multiply by 100. Again. Multiply this out, guys. And then put all the A's on the left and all the other numbers on the right. 5 times A. 5 times minus 3. 2A plus 7 stays or goes? Stays. Goes. Goes. Stays. Okay. We've done this a little bit before. Now what goes here? Here? No, it was a minus 15. Now 2A take 3, 5A take 2A. 15 plus 7. Oh, fraction answer. That's annoying. Divide 22 by 3 is a multiplier on the left, which means divider on the right. Hint in the question is, see the way it says A element R? It means your answer isn't going to be a whole number. If it was A element M, like natural numbers, it'd be a whole number. So we're not surprised to see that answer.
Isn't it a running rule?
Yes.
See that?
Yeah.
So then the 6 years sign that or something.
No. All classes decided to get rid of y, and we're in agreement. Okay, we're all going to get rid of y, and so what we're going to do is we're going to what gets rid of minus 4y? Plus 4y gets rid of. How do you turn 2y into 4y? So multiply the whole top line by 2. That's all you gotta do, guys. Multiply the top line by 2 and add downwards. So by even multiplying the top line by 2, you'll get 3 out of 10. So go and give that. We're multiplying top one by 2. Did everybody get 6x plus 4y equals 22? Now we add downwards. So what you get when you add downwards? Yeah.
Plus 0.
Yeah.
And 4.
Right, well, do the question. And 21, that's a multiplier on the left to 7. So what happens? 21 divided by 7? 3. Now you're on 8 out of 10. You haven't made a mistake, but you're on 8 out of 10. Now you have a choice. You can use option A or option B. You can either use the top equation or the bottom equation. Your choice. We'll all make the same choice. Which A or B? Show of hands. Anybody for A? We all want B? Okay, we all want B. So is this option B? I've written down option B. What do we replace X with? Okay. The minus 3, you're right. So it's minus 1 minus 3, yeah?
So y equals
Minus 4y equals, that's minus 1 minus 3.
minus 4
Magic wand, both sides.
plus 4 plus 4y plus 4.
Divide by 4 then.
1.
Done. 3 and 1 is your answer for that. That's tables, you'll see this formula. You just taking down that formula get you 3 out of 10. Okay? Where is it? Do you have a pen? Remember how to do this. What's A? B. Minus 2. Minus B. 2. C. Excellent. Go on. So minus B would be 2 plus or minus. And what I always asked you to do was to do it like that, didn't I, with the brackets?
Yeah.
And we fill in the numbers now, don't we? So it's minus 2 here, 3, minus 4, 2 times 3. And then you get out your calculator.
Error.
Oh no. Alright, so
I got this one place 1.5.
so who got 2? Oh sorry, I got it wrong there. Who got 2 plus square root minus 2 squared minus 4 times 3 times minus 4 all over 2 times 3. And I think what I got was I got changed that to decimal. I got 1.54 if I round it off. Okay, and then the other answer, I go back and I delete it to minus.
So I keep forgetting to put it under a fraction.
Frustrating.
Same thing.
Who got point minus 0.87?